Dear students, welcome to the English class. In this class, we are going to learn a new chapter, Fire, Friend and Foe. In this class, we are going to learn the different uses of fire, at the same time, the dangerousness of fire. What was the attitude of early man towards fire? Early man did not know what was fire. He understood it was so powerful and dangerous. It made him puzzled, and now we know fire is the result of a chemical reaction. First of all, we see what is a fire. It is nothing but when oxygen in the air combines with carbon and hydrogen in a fuel, a chemical reaction takes place and energy is released in the form of heat and light. This process we call it as a fire. Then, three things are needed to make fire. What are they? That are fuel, oxygen and heat. Now, what are fuels? Wood, coal, cooking gas and petrol are some examples of fuel. Now, oxygen we know, it is in the atmosphere. When we blow, oxygen comes. Then, fuel and oxygen do not make themselves fire. What else is needed? Heat is also needed. To burn a piece of paper or wood, we heat it before it catches fire. So, every fuel has a particular temperature at which it begins to burn. So this is called flash point or kindling temperature of the fuel. Okay. Now, at times, fire is a good servant and also a bad master. So, when does fire become a good servant? The useful, when it is in our control, when we use it with our control, it is a good servant. And when it is out of our control, it becomes a bad master. Okay, for example, when we use it to cook our food and warm our house and also to generate electricity, we are using fire. Then when it is very dangerous, we know it is out of our control. We might have heard each year thousands of homes and shops are damaged by fire. So, just as three things needed to make fire, there are three things needed to put off fire. So, what are the three things? For example, we can take away the fuel by if the fire has no fuel. Okay, so burning can take place only with the fuel we studied. So, often let a fire die out simply by not adding more fuel to it. So, one method not to add fuel to the fire, then it can be put out. Then the second way of putting the fire is to prevent oxygen. Okay, prevent oxygen reaching it. So no supply of oxygen means no fire. Okay, now the third way of putting out a fire is to remove the heat. If the temperature can be brought down below the flash point, the fuel stops burning. So these are the three methods to put out the fire. Sometimes carbon dioxide is also used as the extinguisher, okay, to put out the fire. Now, some fires cannot be put out with water. Okay, sometimes people use water to put out the fire. Small fire means we can put out with water. But the fires are caused by electricity, means it is very dangerous. Do not put out the, you should not use water to put out the fire. Okay, because we may get shock, and an electric shock can be kill a person. Then I already told carbon dioxide is used as the extinguisher. That is the best thing to fight an electric fire. See, every year we spend millions of rupees for fighting fires, and we spend more trying to find new ways of preventing fires. So long ago, we know, there were no firemen. So when fire broke out, what happened? Everybody became a firefighter. Okay, people formed human chains, and they passed buckets of water from well or from river, and in order to put out the fire. Now it is not that, isn't it? Every new building, especially in a public place, and also even they have prevention norms, fire prevention norms. Okay, bands of firefighting workers with special equipments known as fire brigades are now. They are trained people. Okay, yes, they cut off electricity supply, then knock down the dangerous walls, spray water and other materials to bring the fire under control. So they are also very trained in first aid, so that they can help people suffering from burns. So these are the different methods to put out the fire. Okay, the discovery of fire and its uses helped early man to cope with nature better and gradually adopt a settled mode of life. Fire is still, we know, it is worshipped in many parts of the world because of its powerfulness. Fire is indeed a friend, but as we know, it can be a dangerous enemy once it gets out of control. So these are the certain information we get about fire in this chapter. So we have studied what is fire and how fire is formed, what are the 3 things needed to make fire, and also what are the 3 things needed to put out the fire. How it is a good servant as well as a bad master. Hope all of you have understood about the lesson Fire, Friend and Foe. Read the lesson 3 or 4 times and write the new words in your notebook, and study properly and come prepared for the live session. Thank you.